This is my 2009 BMW R1200GS Adventure. I bought this bike a few months ago, did not get any service history on it, so I really have no idea when the last oil change was done on it. Super low miles bike, only has 16,000 miles on it. Before the summer riding season really gets going, it's time to get all the fluids changed, just kind of for peace of mind. Going to be trying to do the engine, transmission, and final drive all today. Supplies. So I've got some 1540 Mobil 1. These bikes have a dry clutch. There's really no need to be running special motorcycle oil in them. Gearbox and final drive both take 75/90. I actually had leftovers from an old bike I owned. The final drive takes 200 milliliters. Looks like I got enough left over this Master Pro stuff for that. Transmission should take 800 milliliters, and I've got enough left over in this Valvoline to take care of that. Other stuff I know I'm going to need: catch can, assortment of funnels. This kind of job always makes a mess. So yeah, here we go. Looks like the engine oil is mostly going to be done from the right side. This is the oil filter right here. Looks like it's made in Austria, so this is probably a stock one, which of course I don't have the tool for, so that's going to be fun to get off. This is the sight glass for the oil here. With the bike level, I don't know if you can see without too much glare, but the oil level is right at the bottom of the red circle there. When I bought this bike, the first day, it threw a low oil level warning at me. I'm going to bet $1 somebody put 4 quarts into it instead of 4 liters, because it took about a quart, and that's the difference. And obviously here on this bike, this whole skid plate assembly is going to have to come off to get access to the oil filter and the drain plug. So that is next. So now that the skid plate's off, we can drain the oil. That is the drain plug right there. Appears to be an 8mm Allen. Well, if you're sensitive to violence, you might want to skip this next part. I do not have the right tool to get this oil filter. It's a BMW specific tool. I can't get my strap wrench on it. This gap is so tight that there's really no tool I have that's going to reach in there. So we're going to do something else to it. Well, success. After a little bit more mangling on it, this thing's coming up pretty easy now. You do want to make sure that the rubber ring came off with the oil filter. Last thing you want is to have 2 of them up in there. Rule of thumb is hand tight on an oil filter. This one is so hard to reach, I just don't know how you would get it hand tight with your hand. So, don't overdo it. Just make it, snug like you would if you could really get your hand on it. Guess that's it. So here's the engine oil fill port. Very easy to get to on this bike. So if you look, there's a little bar in here. It's going to make it really hard to get a funnel in. So I took this funnel, modified it so it kind of sits in there nice. We'll see how well that works. So a little rubber ring came out with the fill cap, and I didn't even catch it before. Yep, let's run the bike for a bit and see how the oil looks. Okay, transmission right here. This is pretty simple. That's the drain plug right there. That's the fill plug. We're just going to open it up, drain the old fluid out, crack this open, pour new fluid in until it's full. So the drain plug here, just a 19 millimeter. You can get to it with a box end wrench. You could probably get to it with a socket from underneath, but this looks like the easiest way to me. Yeah, piece of cake. A lot of threads. Looks pretty clean. So the fill port is the same as the engine oil drain plug. It's an 8 millimeter. This one is pretty tight. There she goes. Let's get the drain plug back in. I think this is just one of these fill it till it overflows kind of things. We'll see how much fluid it takes. You're getting close to 800 milliliters here. Yep, there it goes, overflowing. So, yep, 800 milliliters is right where it starts to overflow like that. Let the excess run out of it for a second. Call that good. So the last one's the final drive. Pretty obviously there's the drain. I do not see a fill plug, which makes me think it's got to be hiding under this fender. Or, yeah, this little fender strut. So I guess that's next, is we'll move this fender and hopefully there's a fill port under there. I guess not. Well, it's not where I thought it was. Turns out the fill port on this thing is on the back side behind the brake rotor. So the wheel's got to come off. All right, drain plug on the final drive is a Torx. And if you're wondering, it is a T45. Okay, that is full till it was overflowing. So the last thing you're going to want is gear oil on your brake rotor. So clean this up really good. I always like to start these by hand. Seen too many bolts and lug nuts stripped. The guy's trying to put them on with impact. So for those of you wondering how I got it up on the center stand, I just use this little ball jack here. Okay, last thing to do is get the skid plate back on. It took me a minute to figure out how the bolts all go.